welcome to episode 16 of Reputation Rescue at Lazio with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So a couple of things to talk about. First off, as I mentioned in yesterday's video in Rolling in the Isles, I'm looking at different skins for the game just at the moment to see which one I like, because I just wanted a change. And the first one that I've got today is SSD Gold by I Am Shark. Or Shark, I can't remember which one, and I quite like it. Let me know what you think. If you've got any other suggestions for different skins that you don't see many other people using, then chuck them in the comments below and we'll rotate around a few in the next few episodes and see which ones we like. But I quite like this one. It's got a decent gold feature to it. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. So this could very well be the last episode of this particular series if it goes badly today. We are playing third place Napoli today. We sit in 12th. Oh boy, having finished 5th last season, this season has been dreadful. And about a month ago-ish in the game, the board came to me and wanted to know why it was going so badly. There was a bit of a back and forth, and basically they gave me a month to try and sort it out. No specific results needed in that sense. They didn't give me a points total to reach or anything like that, but they did say that they wanted an improvement in the month ahead. And I'm not 100% sure whether what we've given them is going to be good enough or not. Excuse me. So we went through in the Europa Cup competition, the Europa League. We qualified from our group in the last game against Werder Bremen, having lost recently against PSV, who topped the group. In Serie A, in the last few weeks, we've had a couple of a win and a bunch of draws, basically, and I'm not sure it's good enough. The likes of Atalanta, who are currently sitting basically top of the league, we drew with them. We drew with Perugia, who are very much not sitting top of the league. We drew with them. There's some really, really bad results in here in terms of the likes of Spal, for example. We only drew 2-2 with them. And in that period of time, since you and I were together, which I think was around the Roma game, wasn't it? I gave myself a couple of game time months to try and sort this out and figure it out. And we're basically at the end of December as we speak. And it's been really tricky. I've got a lot of draws in there, not enough wins in the league, unfortunately. And in that time, I tried so many different formations and styles of play and all sorts. We've done the 4-2-3-1 narrow. We did a 4-3-3 narrow. We did a diamond, 4-4-2 diamond. All sorts of things. Most recently, for these last few games, including the Werder Bremen game, what I've been playing actually is a tactic I bought over from my Derby County save. Even though I don't quite have the players to play it just yet, really, I think it's a good structured setup. The positions that we really lack are the wide left and the wide right, obviously, because we got rid of all of our natural wingers last season because I wanted to play the wing back system with a sort of 3-4-1-1-1-1, or whatever the formation is supposed to be. I don't know. 3-5-2. Anyway, we got rid of all the wingers, so we were imbalanced in trying to put them back into the side. So I've had to sort of shoehorn a couple of players into these roles, but I think it's a better fit for us in terms of our defensive structures. We've just got to get these wide players working. And the plan is that we're sitting on the 23rd of December. In about a week, the January transfer window opens. I've already sold one player, and that's Escalante, who was bought into the club before I even joined, and then showed up actually joined us last summer, and isn't good enough. I didn't like him. I didn't want him in terms of his attribute rating. I just didn't want him. I wanted other people, but the deal had already been done, so he was into the club. But I've since not really used him. He got fed up with that, and so he asked for a transfer, and we've arranged a 19-point-something million move somewhere. So he's out the door already, and there's one or two other slightly bigger players in here that will probably go the same way in January. We can't do wholesale changes in January because I've still got the Europa League that I'm in part of, and I can't decimate that squad too much because of the registration issues and how many new players you can register into that setup, etc. But we can certainly move a couple out especially some periphery players, and bring 1 or 2 wide men in just to balance the squad moving forward and see if we can get this tactic working, if the board allow it, because they were really not happy last time. I don't know whether I've done enough. And now we've got Napoli, who are sitting in third, and the following match for us is AC Milan. And if we go to the league table, you can see that AC Milan sit in 7th. So a couple of really tricky games before probably the board come back to us. And if we lose both of them, it could be the end of the series. They could sack me quite easily. But who knows? Maybe we'll get a couple of decent results and keep them at bay through till January, get an opportunity to reinvest in the squad a little bit. And then who knows what will happen? Maybe it'll turn around, maybe it won't. But that's what's happening. It's not been great. It's been like pulling teeth at times to get through the last couple of months of gameplay just to see if we can turn this around. I don't think it's a bad run, but there's just too many draws in there. There's not enough wins. We didn't lose an awful lot, did we, really, looking at it? But it's just not quite good enough, having finished 5th last season. So, today, Napoli, 3rd place in Serie A, as I say. We've gone to the asymmetric style that I've been using in my Derby County save in Rolling in the Isles. And all that means that we've got one injury issue, and that's Lazzari. And unfortunately, he's the natural to play in this wide midfield right area. And he hasn't been fit for a little while. He's just been injured for a little while. He's still got about 11 days out. So another game or 2 probably before we can bring him in. But when he's fit, he plays this really well. That has taken him out of this sort of right fullback role, which would probably need a better option for moving forward. So there's a couple of thoughts in there for that. But yeah, he's a big miss at the moment, is Lazzari, because he plays that role. But everybody else is pretty much fit and available for selection. So today's team is Strakosha in goal. We've got Marisic at right back, Lukaku at left back, Felipe and Acerbe in central defence, with Gagliardini, Milinkovic-Savic and Alberto in central midfield, with Gravenberch out wide right, just because his crossing is reasonable. We've got Anderson out left because he can cut in and cause some problems with some creativity, and Immobile up top, and pretty much everybody else on the bench, as is the way in Serie A. So let's get into today's game, fingers crossed everybody, and see what happens. So for an important game, I've gone the media have been on your back for a while. Let's go and prove them wrong by putting in a good performance. A bit of a sparse stadium it looks like, doesn't it really? The Italian stadiums don't seem to be particularly full at the moment. Whether that's just the way it always looks for FM in Italy, I don't know. But yeah, it didn't look particularly full, did it? Maybe that's just because it's us coming to town and the Napoli fans think it's a foregone conclusion that they'll beat us, maybe. Who knows? Oh, that's way too fast. What's happened there? That's not how I set it at all. Let's go back down to that. Sorry about that. Marisic on the ball down the right hand side, so it's a good opportunity early for us after 20 minutes to keep the ball, work it well and try and get a chance at the end of it. Let's see if we can work it through the side. So it's gone back to the goalkeeper and he's moved it into defence and out wide left to Lukaku. That's the brother of Romelu Lukaku, our left back, and so he plays keep ball with Acerbe very nicely. We use Immobile up top, just about get a bit lucky with it. Gravenberch picks it up on the right hand side, near post, and there's Immobile. And Gravenberch is not played on the wide right so far. I've been using a couple of other players, but I noted that his crossing was a bit better than some of them, so I put him out there today, and it's come off for me. He beats the man down in that right hand side into the penalty box, puts a near post cross in, and just in front of the defender goes Immobile, and he powers the ball home at the near post, and we go 1-up after 20 odd minutes, and that's a pretty decent start. You can see that we had a few less opportunities than them. The possession of the ball is fairly even, which is good. They seem to be fired up and now uninterested. They've lost all interest in the game, it seems, the Napoli players, which is good for us. You can see just before half time there, we picked up a bit of a knock for Jordan Lukaku, sorry. And I am going to have to take him off, I think, just because I want to protect as many of our players as is possible to get them through to January, because some of them might be needed through that period, but also some of them might need to be sold. If we've got injured players, that's going to be harder to do. I don't need to give a particular team talk, I felt at that point. We'd done enough before the game to put the impetus into the side, and they've performed pretty well so far. We're going to drift it through for another sort of 10-15 minutes in terms of game time, and then we're going to see whether we need to make a substitution or anything and try and keep moving forward. But it's Napoli on the ball. They get a chance to build up an attack through the centre of midfield, and they take it wide right and skip past Lulic like he wasn't even there. That's happened quite a lot recently to our defenders, that attacking players seem to knock the ball past them and they don't have any ability to see that coming or do anything about it, and they just stand there and watch them drift by. It's really frustrating at times. But that was a good footing. Anderson comes away with the ball down the left-hand side, but again, a good tackle from the defender on the Napoli team as well, and it goes out for a throw-in. Let's see if we can make a couple of substitutions. Now, what have we got happening? So defensively, we're doing pretty well. Gravenberch down that right-hand side is doing all right. We've got a Milinkovic-Savic yellow card, but we've also got 2 6.6 ratings. Alberto's been doing very well recently, but today, not so much. So what we're going to do is we're going to take him off and put Locatelli on, but switch him and Milinkovic-Savic round, push Milinkovic-Savic higher up the pitch, and then we've got Anderson on that left-hand side, not quite natural in that role, so we'll chuck Greenwood out there and see if he can use a bit of pace to get something happening out on that wide left-hand side. Again, not particularly his role, but at the moment we are just having to put a few round pegs in square holes, as it were. Just to see whether we can get through to January. So Lulic on the ball with a free kick to the far post, and the opportunity goes to Felipe, our central defender, and he puts it straight at the goalkeeper, unfortunately, in a crowded area. But we are drifting towards the end of the game. We've still got about 8 minutes to go, and it's Napoli on the ball, but a good foot in there from the defender sends them slightly further out, but they regain possession, Napoli, and come back at us, and then have a powerful shot that goes inches wide of that near post, and we breathe a bit of a sigh of relief, really. Still, the game is even in terms of the possession. They've had still more chances than we have, but we're still 1 up, and we've got a couple of minutes to see if we can get through. We've got 90 minutes has just come up. We've got 3 minutes of added time, but it's us in possession of the ball in the central midfield. Can we keep possession and not make any silly mistakes? Keep the ball moving and make them chase shadows a little bit. That's the intention now. It doesn't really matter about anything else. Just keep the ball. And they're doing quite nicely there. Locatelli into Milinkovic-Savic. Back to Locatelli. Central midfield working nicely. Back into defence, and they go slightly long and wide right. But then we lose the ball because they went long from the defence. And it's Napoli that come back at us on the counter-attack down the left-hand side, ride a couple of challenges, get it into the near post, and again, at the dying seconds, the opposition have got a goal against us, and we're going to draw another game. This is Napoli in third spot, and we were looking decent for a win, and then we made an error with a longer ball from defence out to the wide right, and Napoli have really made us pay for it, and this is happening time and time again, that the opposition just find a way. There was no offside issues, just check there on the VAR, but there wasn't. And we go 1-1, and there's the final whistle. This save is so frustrating this season. I thought we'd got a decent win, and it got snatched at the last minute from us. And this could be a nail in the coffin. It really could. If the board are not happy with all of these draws, I could be gone, and we might be looking for something else to do next week. We'll have to wait and see. I think you should sympathise with the team after that performance. I agree with that because Napoli were high up in the division and we did so well for so long. I will just say it's a shame, unlucky, you were unlucky today, and leave it at that. And then we'll just have to see what the board have to say in the next couple of days. So Lazio denied by late goal. Lukaku's injury, he's out for a couple of weeks. Again, it's unfortunate. We're picking up knocks in some really unfortunate ways at the moment, and some of the players are off injured. Disappointing, but yeah, there we go. That's it. I mean, I could run through the game and see whether the board come back, but they might not come back to me for a couple of weeks, so I won't do that just at the moment. What I will do is, if by Saturday, when the next episode is, if they do come back, I'll probably stop it at that point and see what that's all about, and then we'll continue from that point next episode. If they just sack me, then who knows what will happen on Saturday. Watch this space. We'll probably come back and review this before we move on to something different anyway. So join me on Saturday for the next episode. Absolutely. It'll be interesting either way. We've got AC Milan to play next. Then we've got Verona and Parma before we play Juventus Zebra in the game. So we're going to have a real tricky time, aren't we? Let's see if the board can give me till January to sort it out though, and spend a bit of money and re-establish this squad. We'll have to wait until next episode to find that out though. So thanks for joining me today. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Join my United City community, and the more the merrier in that. Click that like button if you haven't for this particular episode. Tricky result in the end. But yeah, it just helps me get seen by lots of people if you could click that like button for me. Till next time though, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.